So let's talk about the politics matter, but the practicalities here. Where's your level of confidence in the team that as of noon, right, on the 20th, they are ready, the Trump administration, to get to work?
Well, first of all, Mr. Trump has picked a great cabinet. And person after person is effective. They know what they're doing. They have a vision. They are going to work with the president, with Congress. We're going to have not only a plan, but we're going to sell to the American people the things that we do. No more reading the bill to find out what's in it. No more passing the bill to then wonder and find out 6 years later. It's a very understandable, direct group of people who understand their mission and what we're trying to accomplish. Congress is ready. The cabinet's going to be ready, the president's going to be ready, and the American people want progress now. The things that we touch, we're going to own. And because we're going to own them, we need to do it well, and the American people will see that we are prepared and ready.
The concern that a lot of the less flashy positions, the deputy positions in different agencies, aren't filled yet, not a concern to you?
Well, they will be. It takes a little bit of time. You got to get the main positions through. The principles have to be decided and done.
All right, let's talk about some of that. You've always approached this in a very principled fashion. There was a time where not paying your nanny or any kind of tax issue would get you thrown out. Even Tom Daschle couldn't be saved by the Democrats, right? That's how Kathleen Sebelius got in there at HHS. Now, you got two of them like that, and you guys seem okay with it. Why the change?
Well, I'm not sure I'm okay with it.
Well, you just said he picked great people.
He did. That doesn't mean every single person in their vetting process. But if they paid the taxes, even if they maybe found out someone was not honest with them, that's different than not paying the taxes. Paying the taxes, attempting to follow the law is the key to the entire matter.
All right, so you got to dig a little bit more there, but that's almost an argument for delaying some of these processes until more information can come, and it seems that Trump and co. does not want that to happen.
They're fair questions, and the American people need to know we are following the law if we expect them to also.
Even if it extends the process?
Even if it extends the process.
All right, uncommon candor. Let's see if we can keep that going as a line.
Well, it's got to be done because the American people have to have confidence in what we're doing.
It's true.
And the people who are making decisions have to be forthright and open about that.
There's no question about that, and a lot of the Democrats on those Senate committees would agree with you. So, takes us to Tom Price. He matters. You know, everybody's got their starting five, so to speak, and he's your center because he's the only one with a functional understanding of what could be done with your repeal and replace. But he also potentially presents the biggest ethical problem. Absent proof from his broker that, yeah, this is totally blind, I made these choices, and here's why I invested in these unusually discreet companies that do unusually specific things that had a direct connection to legislation that came up right after purchase. Boy, does this stink, this situation.
Well, I think it's worthy to look at the whole evaluation and the process. In Tom's word,
he says, I don't know. He says, I didn't know about these. But isn't that something that you'd want to be proven to you just because of how much resemblance the company's interests stood to that bill that he put out with Democrats, but just days after the purchase?
What I would say to you is you should ask the questions. He should be required to put it in writing, and you should be able to offer some rebuttal to that to make sure that's correct. I know Tom Price. I've known Tom Price for 15 years. He's an above-board, honest, straightforward guy. But every single issue must be vetted and looked at, and I'm for that. And I think whatever Tom tells you, the proof would be in the pudding.
With Tillerson,
yes.
Questions are obviously about, you know, was the coziness of the relationship that made business work well, did it extend beyond that? Could it compromise him? Your feeling on it?
Well, I know Rick Tillerson well. I represented him when he was at Exxon. The congressional district. I know him. I gave him his National Distinguished Eagle Scout Award. We think great things about him. The
Rex, just so people know, not just the leader of the Boy Scout organization, but was in favor of opening the Boy Scout community to gay scouts and scout leaders. People don't know that about.
he did. In fact, he did. That was our national president. But here's what Rex Tillerson brings to the equation. He understands the economics of energy better than any other person in the world. He understands what's above ground and what's underground in Saudi Arabia and Russia. He knows the strengths and weaknesses, the things that he has done for that company and this country. he will do again. He is brilliant, he is honest to a fault, and he will be forthright about what he would do. And when he draws a red line, he'll mean it. And he will work well and help the president in foreign affairs who can use some help. We all can. But Rex Tillerson, will be the star of the class.
So, all right, well, let's touch on something that you and I, you were welcome here to talk about a lot going forward, which is what repeal and replace will mean.
Yes.
Address the main fear, which is repeal sounds great. And what will happen, to people who want change. Every time you defund something, someone becomes vulnerable. Because if you don't have the money to provide it, it can't be provided. How do you avoid that if you're not ready with a simultaneous replacement for that funding stream to allow that person to get their care?
Sure. Well, let me say this. The president-elect is now speaking up on this issue and has said he is for and will have a health care plan where everyone has coverage.
And a lot of your brothers and sisters on the right are shaking their heads and being, what, everybody? Well, hold on now.
Well, American citizens. Let's say this, that the Republican Party has better ideas, and we must replace it before we repeal it. We must tell the American people what the plan is. We must lay it out for them. It can be simultaneous, but it must be with a plan that's well understood, that members of Congress can go home, hold town hall meetings and talk about it. That's how proud we are. Now, have we completely decided which exact plan that is? No, I have a plan, world's greatest health care plan, which truly has been not only a bill for some period of time, but it allows every single person in the marketplace to have the same tax advantage, which is the problem, the tax advantage to where they can purchase health care straight up January 1st.
So let's do this. That's an important discussion.
Of course
it's going to
it
be a
is.
protracted one. Let's continue to have it. You're welcome
Right.
here to
Thank
discuss
you
it
very much.
anytime.
Good.
Pete Sessions, a Republican from Texas. Good to have you on the show.
you.
All right. We have breaking news for you. The U.S. military is in action, targeting ISIS. On President Obama's last